There is a part of the Congo where maps fade into guesswork, where rivers braid through dense jungles and the air hums with ancient life. Locals call it Lake Télé, near the Likwala aux Herbes swamps. A place so remote, even the sky seems unsure if it should linger above. They say something moves beneath those waters, something that has been there longer than men, longer than memory. They call it Mokele-Mbembe, the one who stops the flow of rivers. To the outsider, it sounds like myth, a tribal folk tale passed down to scare children away from the swamp. But ask the Baka, the Likwala, the Ba'aka, and their eyes will narrow. They speak not with excitement, but with warning. Lake Télé itself is more like a living mirror than a lake. Its waters are shallow, muddy, and eerily still, broken only by the occasional ripple that disappears too quickly. There are no roads here, only pirogues carved from tree trunks, and the sound of your own breath. In 1776, a French missionary named Lévin Bonaventure Proyat wrote of strange creatures in the swamps, describing one as a half-elephant, half-dragon, and that it was feared more than lions. In the early 20th century, German expeditions reported massive footprints along the banks. Footprints with no claws, no webbing, just thick, round impressions, some as wide as a dinner plate. It was said to have a long neck, a heavy body, and a tail like a crocodile's. But it was not a dinosaur, they insisted. It was a spirit, a guardian of the river. One account from 1932 tells of a local fisherman named Mkulu. He spoke of a misty dawn, his canoe drifting silently through the reeds. He heard it before he saw it, a deep exhale, like a bellows beneath the water. Then, a shape, long, dark, silent, a head like that of a snake rising above the waterline. He did not return to that lake again, not ever. In 1980, a joint expedition ventured deep into the swamps. What they returned with was not proof, but conviction. They heard something, the lead biologist said, a low, rolling growl from beneath the water. We couldn't explain it. Some believe Mokele-Mbembe is a relic of a lost world. Others believe it's never truly been of this world. But this is only the beginning. The stories get stranger and much, much closer to the truth. We begin where the trees thicken and the river runs red with dusk. Night in the Congo is a thing unto itself. The jungle doesn't sleep, it waits, and the river becomes a breathing thing, curling through blackness like a serpent made of time. In 1995, a group of researchers camped near the northern shore of Lake Télé. They were biologists, botanists, and one cryptozoologist named Keller. The group kept a log. Day 3. We heard splashing, heavy, deliberate, as if something large was walking in shallow water. Day 4. We found trees broken chest high, bark stripped clean. Day 5. Something brushed the bottom of the canoe. We saw nothing, but the water rose. On the 7th night, Keller stayed up late. He wrote, "At 2:14 a.m. I heard what I can only describe as a wet trumpet, like a low bellow underwater. Not elephant, not hippo, lower, sadder. At dawn, they found wide prints pressed into the soft banks, but the rain came before they could cast them, and the jungle, as always, swallowed the story whole. Another account comes from a Baaka guide named Yombe, who was hired by a mining group in 2003. He claimed that while searching for a new route through the swamp, he and 2 others saw a creature moving across the waterline at dusk. It was as tall as 2 men, he said. The body was dark, wet. The tail was long and thick, dragging behind. It looked back once. The eyes were red, and then it vanished into the trees without a sound. His 2 companions refused to speak of it again. One left the expedition that same night. There are dozens of stories like these. Some passed through generations, others recorded by skeptical researchers with shaking hands. But they all say the same thing. We saw something. It was alive, and it should not be. Skeptics say it's nothing but misidentified hippos, that human memory is flawed, that fear turns shadows into monsters. But those who've been to Lake Télé, they don't laugh, they don't guess, they whisper, and they remember. In our final part, we look at the evidence and at what might still be moving beneath the surface. The scientists will tell you there's no way that a sauropod or anything like it could not survive in the Congo Basin. They'll cite oxygen levels, food sources, evolutionary biology. They'll remind you dinosaurs are extinct. The fossil record is clear, the case is closed. And yet, Lake Télé has never been fully mapped. The swamps of Likuala stretch over 55,000 square kilometers, much of it impassable. Even satellite imaging is often blocked by dense canopy or cloud. Expeditions have been launched, some public, some quiet. They come back with water samples, plant studies, insect records, but never what they're looking for, and sometimes they don't come back at all. Some cryptozoologists suggest Mokele-Mbembe is a type of unknown reptile, perhaps a surviving relic of the Mesozoic. Others think it's a cultural memory, a mix of hippo, croc, and legend. But there are patterns that don't go away. Broken trees in odd directions, canoes capsized with no crocodile nearby, footprints too deep, too round, too far apart. And always the sound. A low, mournful rumble beneath the water, as if something ancient is still dreaming. Locals leave offerings at certain river bends. Children are told where not to swim. Hunters carry charms carved with long-necked figures. No one laughs. So what is Mokele-Mbembe? A living fossil, a spirit, a warning. Maybe it's all of them. Maybe it's not what hides in the swamp that frightens us, but the idea that something could, that the world is still too big, too old, too wild to be tamed. And in that forgotten corner of Congo, as the fog thickens over the black water, a ripple breaks the surface and vanishes. We may never know what made it, but if you listen closely, you might still hear something move.